Howdy, folks. Is VileMike here. And yes, it is episode 269. So, yes, double nice.
69.
Hi, Bob.
I have thoughts on that, but
Hi,
I
Bob.
won't necessarily say them here.
Oh, it's. I have no idea how the 69 nice thing started, but to me, it's relatively harmless. So I think it's funny.
No, not that. 69 in general, I have an issue with.
The number or the position?
Yeah, the position. It's awkward.
You don't like
Nobody's really enjoying themselves. It sounds like a good
No, wait
idea.
a minute. So are you
Hold on.
saying you like
Hold on.
to...
NB, let her get her point across real quick first. Because
It's
I want to laugh, and I think this is going to be funny.
You've either got to be like the height difference can make it or break it for one thing, but it's awkward. I don't know. I'm not enjoying I would rather just either do the deed to my partner or have him do it to me. When you're trying to do it at the same time, it's just you're never really, because you're trying to focus on a little on what you're doing, but also like not on what you're doing. And I don't know. I've just never. It's not like it's a bad experience. It's kind of fun, but it's not going to get you there. Is my point.
Okay,
That's all I wanted to say.
I do have a question, Dandelion. Just a simple question. How tall are you?
5'7".
My wife is 4'8" and I'm 5'11". So just imagine 69 on that size difference.
It could be.
I don't want to imagine you naked.
I don't know. I just don't think. I think it's an awkward thing. It just yeah. I'm sorry. It sounds like a great idea. I'm not averse to the process.
Have you read the Karma Sutra?
Yes, actually, Chris Knight, I have read the Karma Sutra.
I'm just saying that there's some things in there. You go look at it like, does your foot go back like that?
Hold on.
Yeah,
hold
for
on.
those who have not read the Kama Sutra, it was made before the razor was invented, okay?
I also want to make one thing clear. The Kama Sutra, the sex aspect is a very small section of that actual book.
No, it's not about that. It's like Tantra. It's like Tantra.
No, here's my thing. When it comes...
Tantric.
Tantric, yeah.
Hey,
That's it.
How you doing, buddy? I'm gonna shut him and let him talk because he never gets to talk.
Go ahead, Positive. Do you have anything to add to the conversation? Because before we get into the main topic I wanted to bring up.
No, go ahead.
And you know what? I will kind of agree with you, Dandelion, since I had no intention of actually going into this topic because I was just. But one, when you're a fat person, yes, it can be very awkward.
Yeah.
Two, I don't know from a woman's perspective too much because I don't. I'm not into.
I do know from one perspective because I'm a fat fuck, and guess what?
No, what I mean. No.
On the top,
That's not what I was going to go into. It's not what I was going to go into, MB. But I will say the particular position of the 69. Basically, my nose is right there on the butthole.
Right. Yeah.
And it's not the nicest thing that when I'm doing something like that, not the smell that I want.
So why aren't you playing with perineum?
I'm just saying it's a lot more hyped up than it deserves to be.
Well, let me ask you something, Dandelion. You ever had your perineum played with?
Of course.
Okay, thank God for some things.
Well, yeah,
there's actually a lot of people I found out who do not know women have a second clit.
Well, I'll just bring this up. I once dated a girl, and this might be some TMI if you guys need to mute me for a second, or take off your headphones or whatnot.
We're good.
But she thought that because of the experiences I've had with other guys, you're gonna like it if I try to massage your prostate. During a certain oral event.
You definitely have to ease into that one.
And I said, literally, and I said, I'm not into that at all. Hey. She tried it anyway, and I went from rebar to a wet noodle faster than I thought possible.
Hey, man, I had an experience one time where I was pleasuring a woman with a toy and she wanted to try it on me. And I said, I don't feel the enjoyment you feel in that same area. And that was just it.
So
The conversations we start with on these shows.
yeah, I was not expecting this, but I'm not. I totally want to take clips out of this.
We're talking about some backstage that I didn't even have a clue about. No, I don't.
I was just talking about religion.
The first 5 minutes of this stream, hopefully you guys will be okay with me taking a clip out and making a couple of shorts out of it because it was just entirely unscripted hilarity to me.
Absolutely. Yes.
Well, it's the price we pay for joining you on the stream.
All right. Okay. So the thing I wanted to bring up first, because it was the show I've been watching mostly this week, at least Thursday and Friday, was Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. Because I haven't seen any of season. I hadn't seen any of season 3, and I wanted to go back to season.
On, Mike?
Say that again.
Is it back on?
It just ended.
It just ended. It just ended season 3.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So I rewatched season 2. I started watching season 3. I got to episode 8. So I watched 8 out of 10. And I think I'm starting to get one of the I haven't seen it articulated very well, but I think one of the issues that Strange New Worlds has is it's relying heavily on gimmicky episodes.
I will kind of say something interesting. I've been reading the Abrams Star Trek comics, and a lot of them are, interesting writing, in my opinion, are just kind of rehashes of similar TOS episodes. And just, some of them are done differently, which I rather have liked the writing so far. But, it comes down to that. I mean, good writing. I mean, I loved Dexter Resurrection. I fucking loved it.
It's the next thing that's on my list to watch. Yeah, is Dexter.
Well, Mike, what did you think about the Wedding Blues episode?
Okay.
What is the Wedding Blues episode?
Okay, that is the episode. It's episode 2 of Strange New World season 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
They basically bring back the Trilene character. It was it the same actor?
No.
I was like, it looks very similar. I'm like a dead ringer. But I'm like, there's no way it's the same actor, is it? But
no, it's not the same actor.
But I will say he did a fantastic job.
Was he a Trill, or what'd you say?
No, Trilene, the Squire of Gothos.
You're gonna have to remind me. I'm a little
the episode from Star Trek: The Original Series, the Squire of Gothos, the guy that was
the one they compared to Q, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay, thanks, BC.
In fact, they had his dad character, or the green glowing mist that is the dad from the Trilene episode, Squire of Gothos. His voice was done by John Delancey,
and he called the guy Junior.
Yeah, so they're heavily hinting that Trilene is basically Junior from Q2, or not.
He's Junior from so he's basically Q's son.
That's what they're hinting at. They haven't said anything out loud, but as for the episode, I didn't really like it, to be honest.
Yeah, it was considered one of the silly episodes.
As I said, this season in particular seems to focus on these gimmicky type episodes, and a wedding episode featuring a Q-like character without, and the Member Berry's aspect of using a character who's essentially Trelane without saying his name ever, so you don't know, so they can keep continuity.
And changing his face in front of everybody, so it looks different.
Yeah, it was just... I didn't really like it, especially the wedding aspects. I mean, it was just like, they're doing this for no reason.
The reason why I brought that up is because the executive producers, season 4 has already been filmed. They have been reading a lot of negative criticism, more than usual, and they are highly considering doing some reshoots for season 4. I mean, everything's all done, social effects, everything is all finished, but since the comments that come out, people are actually trashing it. Not the fake fans, but real fans are actually trashing it. They're seriously consider doing reshoots, and they're trying to scramble actors just in case. That's why I brought it up, because that was one of the main episodes people were complaining about, was the wedding one. That and the 4 Vulcans.
Well, I will. I'm going to go into it. Let's go to season 2 real quick. Some of the best episodes of that season were the gimmicky episodes, in my opinion. Then the 2 most gimmicky episodes for that season were, of course, Subspace Rhapsody, the musical episode, which you cannot get more gimmicky for a television show than doing a musical episode, other than Those Old Scientists, which was the first, I would say, the first real full-on crossover episode Star Trek has ever done.
Hey, Mike, I just want to say one thing.
What?
The only thing that would have made the Rhapsodio one work is if the Klingons had actually been doing Klingon opera, not sounding like fucking 90s boy band.
There was 2 different versions that Bruce sang. A harsh Klingon opera type, and the boy band version, and Alex Kurtzman said his boy band version is funnier.
No, it was inappropriate. Well, it may have been funnier. I don't know. He may have thought it was funnier. I thought
that's why he included it. I've only seen the actual alternate version once.
You know what? I would have liked it if it had been a Klingon opera.
It's out there somewhere. I saw it once. I can't remember where I found it. I think it was on Daily Motion.
Well, if you ever find it, send the fucking thing to me.
I've been looking for it, man.
Because I'm telling you, I didn't think that was a bad episode. And look, I know people, I'm like, back before I retired from the military, I knew a guy who liked Star Trek Discovery, and I didn't jump his ass because I hated the show. I said, "Oh, what do you like about it?" He explained to me what he liked about it, and I said, "Have you seen any of the older shows?" He goes, "No." I said, "Then you probably would find them boring based on what you like about these new shows." I said, "But that's up to you." I never tell people what they should and shouldn't like.
Yeah, we shouldn't like Dexter. Too personal for you.
No. Well, we're not talking about Dexter.
Thank you.
But like, okay, so is lazy.
So just to go back to the season 3 for Strange New Worlds, we got episode 1, which is a continuation of the Gorn episode. It's a war episode. It's all nice and going. It's original. It was fine. I mean, it was probably better than fine. Scale of 1 to 10, let's say it was probably a 6.5. Not great, but not horrible at all. Wedding Blues was bad. It was a wedding episode that didn't actually have the characters in love. It relied too much on member berries, as I said. Not a good episode, but it was,
what were the member berries per se?
Well, the aspect of throwing in Trelane at all was member berries.
Okay.
Bringing back John Delancey for a couple of lines, very member berries. So and it was a wedding episode without the characters being in love, which to me was a cop out. Shuttle to Kenfori. This should they had two good scripts in this episode that they could have separated out and made very interesting. Because one, they had the zombie episode, which could have been really fun and exciting as a episode on its own. Then they had the Dr. Mbenga's basically suffering the consequences of his actions when he killed the Klingon ambassador from season 2. Because his daughter comes back to not necessarily revenge her father. She wants to kill the guy who killed her father because she hated her father and considered him a traitor, and he dishonored their household, which is a very Klingon thing to do. So they had 2 episodes where they had 2 good ideas that should have been separated. They should not have been part of the same plot, because it just limited both aspects of it. If you're going to do a zombie episode, do a fucking zombie episode.
So what you're saying is the A plot and the B plot should have been 2 A plots.
That's not even it, NB. This was both the A plot. It was the A plot in addition to another A plot.
A plot, sub A plot.
You can't have 2 A plots.
What I mean is the zombie aspect was during the same time. I mean, literally, the solution to the episode was the Klingon daughter sacrifices herself to distract the zombies so that Mbenga and was it Spock? I can't remember even who was with him because no one who it didn't matter. It was just an Mbenga episode. Can escape.
I forgot.
So yeah, they should have been 2 separate episodes. Period.
Sounds like it to me. Now,
So-
Chris, you're very into how
I was going to ask Mike about another episode.
Well, hold on.
Talk about that.
Let's continue on episode 3 for now.
Okay.
What did MB want to ask?
Oh, I just asked. I noticed you're very into the media genre far more than, as far as I know, other people.
Okay. And what part of that? You want to know what I think of these?
Yeah. What was your opinion on episode 3?
Yeah.
I watched.
Actually like Chris Knight. Hold on a second. I want to tell you something. I actually like Chris Knight's breakdown of episodes because he does a very good job and he seems to understand the genre of Hollywood better than, well, I do. So when I don't know something, I admit I'm ignorant of it, and I love to hear somebody who has a little more insight into its opinion.
I mean, I have not watched any of this season of Strange New Worlds, but I will say this. I like the change of doing things with a different perspective of it. Star Trek is one of those platforms that has actually probably done the best to very poignantly separate what is going on and where and what time. They've done a pretty darn good job. There's some crossover here and there, but the splits in the timelines, I think are pretty well done. And so if you don't like an episode, or if you don't like not an episode, but if you don't like a particular series, it's one of the easier properties you can go back and not pay attention to it. You don't have to pay attention to everything, and you can still like it for what you like it for. I would say that Strange New Worlds is much different than, for instance, Alien Earth. Alien Earth has done nothing to separate itself from the whole timeline of the Alien movies. So therefore, there's a lot of questions in this series about what is going to happen for the rest of what has happened to happen.
Okay, actually, Chris, you know my feelings on that show. I actually liked the last episode I saw.
I liked it.
No. I mean,
But I don't want to go too far down that way.
It was, I think it was episode 6. Because episode 7 was available, but I didn't watch it. I think you said there were 8 episodes or 12 episodes.
There's
8 episodes.
Already just finished 7. This week's going to be the final one.
I actually enjoyed episode 8. I know we're ahead of ourselves.
But going forward,
sorry, not episode 8. I actually did enjoy it.
But I still want to focus on Strange New Worlds, not Alien. We can go into that next.
I was saying.
So you haven't seen season 3 yet, so I'll try to limit my spoilers for you.
You're fine, because I really won't either remember or it won't hurt me. It really,
I'm the same.
I kind of, when you guys are talking about stuff that I haven't watched, I try to stay where you guys are at, but I kind of, like right now I'm doing other things, but
all right, guys, before you continue your chat, I'm going to head out. I haven't watched this show at all, and so I don't have any thoughts on it whatsoever, and I got about 1 million things I got to get done today, so I will...
hiking and what? You got hiking and bread, right?
Bread's already baked. I don't know about hiking. It's pretty rainy.
Yeah, gotcha.
All right, well...
Hey,
have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bake bread. I'd love
I
that.
don't always do it on a Sunday, but I usually time it so that it's ready to bake on a Sunday, because then I've got a nice loaf for the week.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Later, Dandelion.
See you later, guys.
Bye-bye.
Hey,
right.
you know,
well, hold on. I just want to go into Positive. You've been quiet. Have you seen season 3 of Strange New Worlds yet?
No, I'm not going to either. To me, it's unwatchable, basically.
And that's where I go, is that you can separate that and you don't have to watch it, because you just don't have to.
Yeah, and I'm not going to be one of those people that, like, I'm watching it because I'm a Star Trek fan, period. But I'm not going to, sing its praises for every single episode like a sycophant who just thinks that it's great. And I'm not going to tear down every single episode because I don't like New Trek at all. I'm just going to take each episode on its own merits. But I'm watching because it's Star Trek, period. They got me there.
There was an episode of Strange New Worlds where, and I don't know her name, but she's the one who had feelings for James Kirk, and that was the episode.
Leon.
La'an,
La'an.
which is the character I don't like, to be honest. But
really, actually, I thought she was the most likable character of most of the characters on Strange New Worlds.
I don't like the fact that she's related to Khan Noonien Singh.
Okay, there is that.
That's the aspect of her character I don't like. They could drop that aspect and I'd be fine with it. Make her someone new. If you want to make her an augment related person, make her related to another warlord, not necessarily Singh. We
already have an augmented related person. It's called she's called number 1.
Yeah, we have that person too. So let's just keep it. Stop drilling into the well too much. The well's running dry for member berries.
What do you mean about number 1? She's an augment.
Oh, yeah, she's also augmented because of the colony she's from. She's from. She's a human from a colony that did genetic engineering on their people, so they're not allowed in the Federation.
Oh, so she's kind of facing the same thing that Bashir faced.
Yes, that's I remember Barry that one. Yeah.
So, I'm gonna go on to episode 4, A Space Adventure Hour.
Don't you mean the correct title is what's it called? Elementary Dear Data?
Well, they have that aspect, yes.
Wait a minute, they did not
They literally did a holodeck episode.
Lovely.
Now, I don't mind terribly that they tried to do a holodeck episode, but my issue with it is, one, the animated series already had a holodeck type thing on the Enterprise. I think it was called like the Recreation Room or something like that.
Yeah, but that
Recreation.
wasn't
The
until
recreation.
after Kirk was already there and Scotty had just installed it.
Yeah, and I'm saying that was animated series, so I would rather them relate it to that than the holodeck. But the holodeck, of course, is much more member-berry because there was a lot more. TNG, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, they all had their holodeck stuff, so they had to call it a holodeck at least once, or twice, or 3 times, or 4 times, or 5 times, and it was really fucking annoying. The aspects of it that I did like regarding the holodeck part was the ending where they're like, it needs to have its own dedicated power supply because it draws too much power. And I liked the fact that they tied that into the issue of the episode, where it literally taking up too much processing power, too much power of the ship, that the ship is having problems. That was good. I liked that aspect.
Yeah, and on the Enterprise D, the holodeck has its own power supply room, so they solved that. And Scotty's like, "Yeah, I just want to make that little side. I need to make a little side note, Captain. I got to do this." Like, yeah, thank you, Scotty.
That part I liked.
Yeah.
Hey, a good engineer does not always put things down on paper.
Okay.
What, that was Scotty when he told Geordi about when he talked about his regulations.
I know, and they actually did bring that up in the Gorn Hegemony Part 2. They actually bring that up when Scotty is rebuilding his little device from the shuttle to work on the Enterprise, and the chief engineer, what's her name? I can't remember. Says you got to write this stuff down as you're working on it. That way, you can redo it at the end.
Hell yeah.
So,
hell yeah.
But yeah.
Name, yeah.
And again, when I said it, like in the same thing for episode 3, where they had 2 A plots that didn't necessarily mesh very well. Not only was this their homage to old Star Trek by having the TV show based on that, because the whole intro of the episode was a parody of Star Trek itself inside Star Trek.
Yeah. What's his name? The guy that played Kirk did an impression of William Shatner, and Frakes had to do that scene twice because he laughed so hard. He almost fell out of the chair the first time he did that. Yeah, it was great. They were having fun on the closing scene of that. They were having so much fun on that. I'm like, yeah, do it twice. Like, do it again. Come in again. Come in again.
Actually, the guy who's played Kirk, the times I've seen him, I'm like, I like this Lieutenant Kirk. This was actually kind of what I was hoping for with the Abrams Star Trek. Maybe seeing him on, being grown. It'd be cool to see him grow through the ranks on the Farragut and stuff. Because the first ship.
The next episode is a Kirk heavy episode.
Well, we're not there yet, so hold off.
Oh, okay.
Now, like you said, Elihu, Elementary Dear Data, it was very reminiscent of that episode.
Yeah, that's what I got.
You have one character who's playing a detective, which I'm going to give it a pass on that, because one, Picard himself did his holodeck scenario was a detective thing.
Mm-hmm. Dixon Hill.
Yeah, Dixon Hill. So we have that.
Was Picard. That was not Data. That was.
That's
Dixon
what I just said. I said Picard.
You did say Picard. Okay, sorry, my bad.
So we had Picard doing detective. We had Data doing detective. So having another character doing a detective, is it repeating? Yes. Is it okay? Absolutely. I don't have any issues with it. But the aspect I had was that the discontinuity or the discongruity of the Star Trek parody stuff combined with the detective stuff on the holodeck. Do one or the other. Do a detective story or do the Star Trek parody. Don't do both in the same episode.
You know, it was a kind of a giveaway, spoiler, because since those old scientists, Spock has still been occasionally grinning and doing emotions, but every time you saw him on the holodeck, he was this complete 100% Vulcan. I'm like, what the hell? How come there's no little snide remark here or there? What's going on, Spock? I'm like, what the hell, Ethan? Who wrote this? Lines for you, man. This is not the Spock of Stranger Worlds. What is going on here? That was kind of a giveaway for me. I was like, what's going on with this Spock? Sorry, that was kind of obvious.
I would agree with you on that personality aspect because the fact when you go to the cage, there's that one moment where he smiles and basically, it's like, okay, he's half human. He still has not got full control of emotions. And at that point, he's a lieutenant, not a lieutenant commander. And we don't know exactly the timeline of that mission between the fact that he spent 11 years under Captain Pike's command.
Well, when it comes to the Spock stuff, Spock having emotions, I don't have an issue with primarily because I think it is a different aspect of way to interpret the character and to explore the character. But let me, because I'm just gonna.
Well, think about this episode, VileMike. The episode, what was it? A mock time where he thought he killed Captain Kirk, and when he realized he was alive, yes.
Yeah, Jim. Yeah, on the transporter.
Yeah, he's like, you weren't about to. No, I'm just glad that he's like, oh yes, your reaction was perfectly logical. Thank you, Doctor. In a pig's eye.
So I'm not saying it was a bad episode 4. I'm just saying that the script is getting a little cluttered, both in the last episode 3, and episode 4. Episode 5, we have probably one of the better episodes, even though it's the trapped in an ancient temple episode, which a lot of shows have done before. I think even Star Trek has done it before, which is fine. I did like the alien possession thing was handled really well, in my opinion, especially through that medical assistant character. I did not think they were going to kill him off the way they did.
Actually, Mike, I don't think that scenario has happened where they've ever been trapped in like some kind of pyramid. Caves and stuff, yeah, but a pyramid, maybe Kirk in that TOS episode, but he came out of that pyramid.
With the Benicia, with the Native Americans, I was thinking about that myself.
Yeah.
But no, that's not similar to that one, no. I think this is the first.
But it is a episodic television cliche. It's something that's used a lot. I'm not going to...
Stargate did it.
Stargate did it a bunch of times. I mean...
Well, with the Labyrinth and the Minotaur, I was thinking.
They had that. They had, the Thor's Hammer episode was essentially that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Thor's Hammer, the Minotaur.
Yeah, but you got to remember, Stargate was all about the pyramids.
Yeah. So, So I'm not saying it was a bad episode. It was probably one of the better episodes of the season, as far as I'm concerned. And having it so that, when they find out that they're actually all standing in the same room, just on different planes of existence, so they're experiencing the room in different ways. Yeah, that I thought was pretty cool. That's something that hasn't necessarily been explored too much in Star Trek. So yeah, I did like that. And the alien possession, as I said, was done really well. The creature possessing the medical tech, I can't remember his name. Sorry about that. The actor was doing a fantastic job. His ability to switch from menacing to scared, from whether the creature was possessing him or not, was really well done. So I got to give props to the actor for that. And the fact that they have it so they could possibly bring back the creature later on, or maybe even the actor. Yeah, I like that too. I think that's one of the few times Star Trek has hinted at a sequel episode so blatantly, and let's hope they follow through with it, because I like that episode. Now, episode 6, which I haven't seen episode 9 or 10 yet, but the Salat who ate its tail is probably one of the... Sorry?
Dude, is the Farragut the only other ship in the galaxy?
I'll go into that in a sec, because I was going to mention that.
The trope.
One, this is probably one of the best episodes of the season. 2, yes, Elihu. The fact that this is the Enterprise and the Farragut again, which is like the 7th or 8th time these two ships have been next to each other since season 2.
Yeah, why is Kirk always on a ship? Come on. He's the only one?
Yeah, so I mean, they try to explain it because George Kirk is on the Enterprise, so he's always visiting his brother.
No, Sam Kirk. George was his father. Sam Kirk.
Sorry, thank you for correcting me. And how you doing, babe? Mrs. Vile's in the chat.
I didn't see her in the chat.
Everybody say hi to Mrs. Vile.
Hello.
Mrs. Cardenas. By the way, his name is Sam George Kirk.
All right. So I was still wrong, but I'm still right. So thank you for showing that, MB. The point the thing I want to say at the end of this episode was Kirk's reaction to what he had done. I'm not going to try to say.
Yes.
That was probably one of the most season 1 TOS Kirk moments I can imagine.
That was perfect, Paul Wesley. Oh my gosh.
There's an episode, in the comic book I'm reading of the Abrams verse. You actually have that episode where, and I cannot remember the name, where his brother dies. The one with those little things that. And actually, it was a 2-parter comic, and actually George survived, and so did his family. And I was like, reading the story, I was like, well, damn, I kind of like this ending a little bit better than I like the first one in the episode, but it was still nice. It was a nice. It's kind of like I treat it like a Marvel's What If.
Well, what I mean, to elaborate my point when I was saying it was a TOS season 1 Kirk moment. I can't remember which episode it was of season 1 of TOS, and I did point this out when I saw it in the episode, is when Kirk is lamenting the fact that he lost a single crew member. And he's like, it's hard for me to do this, blah, 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 blah. But it was an emotional aspect of Kirk having to deal with the loss of even just one crew member, which kind of juxtaposed with later on. Hold on, with juxtaposed with later on episodes where like 12 crew members would die and they wouldn't even bother mentioning it later on.
No, Kirk always felt the loss of a crew member. Doomsday Machine, or not Doomsday Machine, but M5, where he's like, that wasn't a machine. That was a man, and your machine just murdered it. He always took the death of a single crew member serious and hard.
Well, not always. I'm going to just point that out. Not always, especially the red shirt deaths on planets. They would not, they were one and done. And then later on the episode, it's not like he had a mental crisis over that person's death like they had the first time.
Well, there
but-
were actually times he did have
sometimes, but not always.
Well,
That's my
there
point.
were also yellow and blue shirts that died, but they were in the middle of combat.
That's not the point I'm making. That's not the point I'm making.
He's talking about the red shirt trope.
I'm just saying that sometimes a crew member would die and he wouldn't care as much as he did that one time in TOS in season 1. That's the point I'm making. So his speech at the end where he's like, not only did I'm trying not to do too many spoilers, but I'm responsible for this act, and it's even worse because, and maybe it's he even makes the comment, it shouldn't be, but it is worse because of what who I did it to.
What happened basically?
Well, there was an episode in TOS where you had 2 red shirts that got turned into their basic things, and one was crushed, and it was a female, and he had that monologue with his captain's log. So yeah, I understand a lot of times we did not get a immediate reaction, but we didn't get an immediate reaction out of his son's death. I mean, we did, but when he was down there on the planet, he's like, what happened? But you got to understand, Kirk is a very what's the word I'm looking for?
Compartmentalized.
Thank you.
Okay, but what I mean is, Star Trek 3 is when his son dies, but they bring it back as an emotional issue in Star Trek 6.
Exactly.
So, but they don't always do that per se. So what I'm just saying is his speech at the end was that Kirk moment that it was the first time he felt to me truly like James Kirk.
Well, that's good because I think the guy is actually the few times I've seen him, but the only problem is he's always been an alternative Kirk. He's never been, that actual Lieutenant Kirk.
Well, yeah, but what I'm just saying is all I'm trying to get my point across is that Kirk moment makes that episode even better.
That's a good thing.
When it comes
to the guy was a good actor to begin with, the Blake Kirk.
I know, but I'm just pointing that out. I thought it was a really good moment for the character and the actor.
So
the storyline. Hold on, the storyline of having this scavenger group cannibalizing ships. I liked that too.
Did you notice the 2 Easter eggs?
I did not personally see them when I was watching, and I was trying to pay attention to it, so I did not see the TARDIS, and I don't understand the big. Throwing the TARDIS in there for an Easter egg. Who cares? The vitriol that this episode got for that is overshadowing the actual plot, storyline, and character moments, and I think that's a detriment to people who couldn't just sit down and fucking enjoy the episode.
Well, the thing took off because it wasn't just inserted; it actually materialized on screens. That's what people were freaking out about. And the other big Easter egg.
Isn't that hard to believe that if the TARDIS and Doctor Who and Star Trek were real, that at some point in time those two would never have crossed paths? I'm just saying. Again, people who sit there and try to, anytime you start inserting logical, real world thought into these shows, it becomes a problem. Because, the TARDIS or the possibility that one of the characters is a former or current companion or anything like that. It's like, I hear this and I'm like, folks, I mean, did you know that C-3PO and R2-D2 are in Indiana Jones? I mean,
they're on the wall. They're on the wall.
Like, I did know that.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, but you don't have a problem with that? 1920s. 1930s. I mean, 1930s are going on, or 40s, whichever time. It's right around that time. And there's C-3POs. It's called an Easter egg, and even if they're trying to tie the two together, they're both. Doctor Who's an interdimensional time traveler, and to hold certain logical hard facts to that show. I understand people who didn't like Jodie Foster. I understand people not liking certain things that have kind of changed the fundamental fabric of what Doctor Who is, and things like that. But
I actually,
folks, see, the thing though is that
I wanted to say I actually have so far enjoyed Jodie Whittaker.
Well, that's fine. What I'm saying, enough people who don't like it or don't like this one or this one, folks, breathe. It's not real. Again, I hear people try to put factual thought behind it. I mean, we can be honest. Star Trek has spawned real world things.
Yeah, there was a
absolutely.
potato. There was a potato in Star Wars. Come on.
Gene Roddenberry did things in his show that, as time has gone on, have become either more acceptable or have been invented. Things that he created or helped start talk about, like Aurora and Kirk kissing and things like this. These were wow moments in media that were political commentary that became something that is now acceptable.
Well, there was also
things like a tricorder, a lot of things, phasers, things like that. Basically your phone is some of this stuff now. Things have been created from it. Yeah, things have been created because of Star Trek, but to insert what we have or things we know right now or something into the show is ridiculous. And I can't, I'm with you, Mike, is like, I can't understand why we have the vitriol towards shows that understand they are sci-fi and not real.
The other Easter egg I was going to mention, there was 2 TNG Bird of Prey in that debris as well.
Yeah.
Well, again, I don't care. I mean,
I understand.
They were during the part where they were talking about where this happens. I did not see it the first time I watched the episode. I had to go onto YouTube and see the little clip, and I'm like, that's what everyone's focusing on. It's like the clip is like 2 seconds long. To the point where the person on YouTube that I originally after I watched the episode, because I wanted to go back and see what the big issue was, because I missed it, even though I'm sitting there watching the damn episode. This guy did a 47-minute long episode thing on YouTube talking about how bad this episode was, and all he talked about was the TARDIS appearing.
Oh my gosh.
He barely mentioned everything else that happened in the episode, and I'm like, this was a great episode. I don't give a shit. And remember,
that's someone who needs to get
the mind meld. Come on.
No, that is someone who needs to get a fucking life. 40 minutes ranting about a TARDIS thing. They're called Easter eggs for a fucking reason.
Yeah, he didn't even mention the mind meld. That was awesome. Pairing?
It's like the way I compared it to in my head was the Enterprise, the TOS Enterprise appearing in Battlestar Galactica, the remastered series, the miniseries.
Yeah, I remember that too. And
wrong episode, right? That was
I remember that, and I was like, they went. But I mean,
But it was an Easter egg. It's not serious. It doesn't mean that.
Is everybody? If your issue is you're butthurt about that, get a fucking life.
I'll give you another example: the Millennium Falcon in Star Trek: First Contact.
Exactly. Yes.
I'll give you another example: R2-D2 in Star Trek Into Darkness.
Yep. How about keep watching?
No, sorry, Star Trek 2003. Or whatever. When they're approaching Vulcan, there's R2-D2 for a second. It's on screen for less than a second, but who cares? They're Easter eggs. They're not meant to be serious. And even if you want to say, oh, it is hinting towards something bigger, Yeah, Doctor Who and Star Trek have had crossovers before.
Hey, what about the fact that in the Phantom Menace we had the Ewok people in the Senate?
You
Never
mean
explained.
the ET people?
You mean
Yeah,
you mean
the
ET?
ET people. Sorry, not the Ewok people.
Yeah, that explains why ET was able to levitate those things because he was using the Force. That explains it.
Doesn't explain his glowing hand, his glowing finger, though, does it?
He was using the power of the Force to light up.
No, a lot of things on this planet have bioluminescence. We can say aliens have forms of bioluminescence too.
No. I just love having that discussion with people about that. The ETs being in Star Trek or Star Wars. Jesus Christ. Sorry, I've had if you guys, some of you know, but I've had a rough week.
So I was trying to find something. Which one was I going to send to Chris? I forgot which one. Oh, here it is. Sorry, I was trying to find the videos I was sending you.
Oh yeah,
Chris,
just whatever. All this.
Chris, take over. Mike is apparently muted.
No, sorry, I had to mute myself for a second. But yeah, overall, this was a very good episode. And how you doing, Shifty?
Nice Shifty.
What's
There we go. No, I want to show the damn thing. Sorry, it wasn't letting me show the thing. Sorry, I'm having issues.
Your life is a corn album, dude. Get over it.
So, when it comes to that aspect of the show, overall, this episode was really good in my opinion. And I do like the idea of having two Starfleet ships trying to overcome the same thing with the different crew dynamics. That is something we don't get often enough in Star Trek.
I would agree.
The TNG episode with the Hathaway was very similar in my opinion. The one where they do the war game between the Constellation
class. Yeah, that was good.
And then the Ferengi come in and change the whole dynamic.
But yeah, very rarely do we have two starships trying to do the same, or trying to solve the same problem from two different perspectives. And I really want to see that more often in Trek, because I realized they couldn't do it with TOS because of the budget. They couldn't really do it that often with the TNG with the budget, and Voyager it would have been impractical. But it's something I do want to see more often. Just personally, it gives that
War Games was. I will be honest with you, VileMike. War Games was a nice story. It would have just been better if it had been equal ships.
No, because to me, I don't know if the movie came out before or after that episode, but down Periscope, the whole idea of having an older ship versus a newer ship. Yeah. That is something that is done quite frequently in war games, so they can see what's going to be more effective, an older thing versus the newer thing, but the older has got the more experienced crew, or
Yeah, I understand that.
What kind of maneuverability a ship has, the newer ship has compared to the old one?
No. Trust me, I understand, as Chris understands as much as I do, being from the military. We totally understand the concept of it. It just, in my opinion, would have been interesting if it had been maybe two Excelsior classes, because one of my favorite episodes in DS9 was watching the Defiant go up against an Excelsior class because it had been updated and upgraded, which, like the Miranda class, showed that it stood the test of time. And it was an even split between. It was almost an even split between the Defiant and that Excelsior class ship, because they were damaged pretty bad, but they held their own ground. So yeah, I understand what you're saying with that.
Well, that was a good part of that episode for Deep Space Nine, and yeah, I agree. But I'm talking about more of the two crews of two different ships working together to solve a common problem, but from different perspectives. Because each of the crews knows something that the other crew doesn't necessarily know about.
Oh,
and I'll give you the TNG episode, an example from the TNG episode. Wesley's experiment to give the Hathaway a half-second warp jump thing.
Yeah,
the Hathaway knew about
The Riker
that.
maneuver. The Riker maneuver.
No, the
Riker
Picard maneuver.
Oh,
That's not the
Picard
Picard
maneuver.
maneuver. It's not the Riker maneuver. Because that's from the really bad Star Trek movie. Insurrection.
Hey.
There we go. What?
No, it's from that episode. It's not from. No, it's from an episode, The Stargazer.
Yeah, that's the Picard maneuver. The Riker maneuver is from Insurrection.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry. Thank you.
And what did you not like the fact that I said that the Insurrection is the really bad Star Trek movie? Chris?
It's a long episode.
Star Trek 5.
It's a long episode.
Well, yeah.
That's all it is.
Okay, so the thing is
Craig,
wait.
I'm sorry. I only know of 5 Star Trek TOS movies.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about the original ones. Anyway,
Yeah, I only know.
So here's my thought.
Original ones. I only know 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6.
6. Yeah. That's most people. No, so I agree with the way Elihu said it. It's much like the second X-Files movie. I watched it. I'm sitting there going, this is just a very long, drawn-out TV episode.
Oh,
Yeah, I was bored in the theater.
There are parts of it.
Wait a minute, Chris, just so I'm clear, you're talking about the last movie that came out, right? That was
Nemesis.
Well, when you were referring to X-Files, I'm assuming you're talking about the last movie, which was basically a drawn-out Monster of the Week episode.
Yes,
Yeah,
and that's exactly what it was.
To make sure I was clear.
Yeah, no, yeah. It was X-Files. Not I Want to Believe was a tagline in the first one. It was the first one, it was so the first one was Fight the Future, and then the second one was I Want to Believe. Okay, yeah, which again I don't know why they titled them like that, because the first one makes more sense than the second one. I Want to Believe. I think they were trying to go with what Scully was wanting to believe in the guy and that, but whatever. I understand those theories, and I do when I watch those movies feel that way. I don't think that you can really. I don't know. There's some bad subplots in Nemesis, but they're not horrible. I just think it was not well executed. It's not as bad as J.J. Abrams sitting there trying to tell us Khan isn't going to be in his movie, and the whole time you're watching, you're going like, "That's Khan," and then
that was.
And then guess what? And then guess what?
Like,
it's Khan. It's like
no, Khan is not in this movie. It's like, dude.
Well, like you.
Khan.
Yeah,
No, you.
And then you knew. And then you knew his big twist.
Tell in the trailer it was going to be Khan.
All right, hold on. Let Positive say his piece because he's been quiet.
Yeah.
No, but Insurrection is a Star Trek episode. That movie, completely. You know, it's basically a 2-parter. Okay, that's all Insurrection is a big.
Okay, the reason I don't like Insurrection is because it is the same exact main plot or scenario that Star Trek Generations had. And that it pissed me off so much that I'm like, they're repeating it step by step from the movie they just did 2 movies ago. And let me explain. Star Trek Generations, you have a madman willing to destroy a planet in order to gain immortal life. Star Trek Insurrection, you have a madman willing to destroy a planet to gain immortal life.
I know.
I disagree with exactly that. One was willing to destroy a planet to gain immortality. One was willing to take the people off, which was actually similar to a TOS episode.
Yeah.
But we're
But
the only hold on.
Justin, hey, stop getting mad at me for making reference.
I'm not getting mad at you. What I'm saying is that is essentially the plot, though.
I'm not saying.
I mean, yeah, you could argue that it's a little bit different each time. Yeah. I'm talking about broad strokes. And when you have the same motivation in your villains for two of 4 movies.
how many movies? I forget now. It was like what 4 that the TNG group did.
Yeah, TNG has got 4.
Yeah, 4 if you count Generations. Yes.
Of that, well, and that there's that, yeah. But I think that of those, only really 2 are really pretty solid, and that's kind of the issue. Is like I think they went and fell back on more the idea of episodic in the long form.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
But which is fine. Again, I don't hate those for that, but I do sit there and think, man, this is like okay. So going back to the X-Files, I want to believe that was literally like a cut it in half, put to be continued, and it could have been put on TV.
Hey,
Exactly.
Chris. So, what are the 2 Star Trek movies you say? Because the 2
What?
I'm thinking of is 2 and 4.
Of what now?
what for what?
Star Trek.
No, what was the question again? I'm trying to.
I'm trying to remember exactly how you said it when you talked about the movies were just okay and they felt.
Oh, the TNG ones. So, hold on. Let me.
Oh,
make
I'm
sure.
sorry. I didn't know you
Yeah.
were talking
No,
about
no.
TNG only. My
Well,
bad.
and even so with the original ones, the first 6, I understand 3, but 3 was kind of a sloppy push because Nimoy basically was done. He wasn't going to come back. And then they basically said, okay, come back. And he's like, no. And he says, come back, do this 3rd movie. And by the time they were done with the 2nd movie, they convinced him to come back. So they were shooting a death scene that they knew meant nothing, which unfortunately it's a very well done death scene. So then they had to give a contrived plot for the 3rd movie, and they basically convinced him to come back by giving him the rights to having him direct it. And he did the best he could with a very thin plot line that this planet
Well, also the
that
budget
is
for 3 was slashed. I mean, if you
Exactly.
look at the budget, for 2 and the budget for 3, what?
Yes.
God, 3. Don't get me wrong. Search for Spock, I enjoy.
I'm okay with it too.
But yeah, the fact
But you
that a
feel
lot
like
of the Genesis planet sets look like they were filmed on a film set.
Okay,
That's the problem.
Yeah, so there's the thing. Number three. I'm going to finish your talking about this first 6. Number 3, and I think Vile just said it right there very well. When you're on the ships during that movie, it feels like the other Star Trek movies. When it goes down to the planet, it feels like an episode. So it's a mishmash of what I feel because it was very episodic on the planet, and only at certain times does it feel like a movie. So that one was kind of one of those. And 5, I don't hate 5. I actually like 5. 5 has a lot of potential. It just was not well thought out because there are moments in there, like when Kirk when they're standing on the planet, and he's like, what does God need with the starship? And him and Bones's interaction right there, it says, Jim, don't question God. These things.
You don't ask the man
there
for
are moments in that movie that are beautiful, and the thought process behind exploring a Vulcan. And yes, we know there have been other Vulcans who have gone off on this religious pilgrimage that Cybok does. But
the center of the universe.
The idea of that in a movie could have been much better done, and I don't know who would have done better with it. I just think it was rushed. So 3 and 5 are like, yeah. And then Hold on.
Explain. They need to explain the
No,
from the Alpha Quadrant to the center of the galaxy. They explain what happened to the black hole at the center of the galaxy. Yeah, they need to do some explaining of that movie.
No,
So-
here's my thing. I look at 2, 3, and 4 as a trilogy.
Yeah, it's one of the things I've said before. It's a mid-series
Can
trilogy.
I actually finish
Mhm.
without getting interrupted?
Yeah,
for
I just
one?
wanted to add that because it's something that I've been bringing up in the past. So yeah,
I
I'm
think
relating it.
those. I look at those. It's not that I hate the first movie. I don't hate the first movie. It just doesn't feel like the rest of the movies. Now, 2, 3, 4, I love. I think is a trilogy.
Again, the
And
first one.
I look at 6 as a coda. That's just the way I look at them. Anyway,
first
PC,
one-
you were about to say something?
But the first one was very much based on Phase 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Series that they were going to shoot. But obviously, then all of a sudden, Star Wars was huge. And then they said, okay, we
Mhm.
need to greenlit something fast to make a movie out of. And basically, that's because they already had Phase 2 pretty much totally done almost, because they were, I think, just weeks away from getting it started. But then, obviously they switched out the Vulcan. It was going to be pure Vulcan. And again, entitling to be human, or that's his purpose, to become more human, even though he's totally, Zahn was going to be his name. But again, that's, and of course the uniforms are just god awful in the 1st one. I mean, yeah, talk about
Yeah, that was
sterile.
really, those are
I mean, the whole
really
thing looks,
bad.
the whole thing, the ship, everything just looked sterile, like a Dane medical area, basically, where it was, just ugly as hell. But
So, Mike, you want to talk about what is Starfleet?
Well, I want to do one little thing because it just hit me. I want to go back. One of the things I was talking about the two. Hold on, I wanted to go back to one of the things I made, or one of the comments I made, and I want to apply it to one of the movies because it just hit me. Remember when I said I like the idea of two Starfleet crews working together on a common problem? Star Trek 6.
Yeah.
The Excelsior and the Enterprise.
And unfortunately, though, for that movie is again, we all know that William Shatner did not like playing second fiddle to anyone. There was a lot more involvement in that movie with Sulu, supposedly, leading a lot of that charge.
Yeah, and honestly, I would have loved. I really thought they were setting up for a Star Trek Excelsior, Star Trek Sulu series. Basically, something with Captain Sulu. I really thought that's what we were going to get next.
And I'm going back. I went back just because I wanted to check the budgets for between 2 and 3. Actually, 3 had a larger budget than 2, even adjusted for inflation.
Why do the graphics suck so much?
That is my question. Why did Walter? Sorry, what was his name? George the guy. Why did he not get his own series as Captain Sulu?
I don't know.
The same reason why Bruce Lee didn't get the lead in David Carradine did. Kung Fu.
Oh, come on. That's completely different.
It was the same time, same studio, same producers.
Okay, so same as, because come on, a Captain Sulu series and Excelsior series, I was all for that. The Excelsior class is my favorite class of Star Trek starship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, most people would go with the refit Enterprise, but okay, yeah.
No, I love it. Well, I know some people who Swearing the Miranda class.
Oh no. Not
Okay,
Miranda.
so Mercer-
reset.
Mercer's explaining that one of the reasons why the budget was larger, but the sets for Genesis look so cheap was because the models they built, the Excelsior, the Bird of Prey, and the Merchant ship.
Well, Bird
Which-
of Prey had a large bed, so what do you expect?
And no, it makes sense. But yeah, they should have done on-site shooting for the Genesis planet. The fact that they filmed them on sets, they look like they were filmed on sets. That's the problem.
Go to the Redwoods. That'll work. Hello. It worked for Lucas on the Ewok planet. Come on.
Yeah, it was.
I thought he was in Canada for that part. And
Same difference. Well, some of the Ewok planet was filmed in the Redwoods.
yeah, I mean, I remember he hired mostly out-of-work lumberjacks. That's why there's that one guy you see who's got the beard.
Never paid attention.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Oh, no. He's the guy who put the Stormtrooper up. He was the rebel who put the Stormtrooper outfit on. Who has now been retconned as Rex.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Well, Rex was the clone trooper from...
Oh, I know that aspect. I just didn't know about the lumberjack part.
Oh, yeah, the out-of-work lumberjack. Yeah, they hired extras as, they were out-of-work lumberjack workers in Canada at the time.
Okay, just to go back to Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which Elihu was trying to do, and I appreciate.
Yeah. Did you ever figure out what is Starfleet?
What is Starfleet? Again, documentary style episode, very gimmicky. I didn't like the idea of a documentary starting off doing yellow journalism tropes, only to subvert it at the end. That is so 1990s documentary stuff.
The headshots with the up the nose cameras. I'm like, I don't want to see people's nose hairs. What the hell was this camera angle here? Is this always on the bridge? Where's the camera? I've seen the panel. Where's the camera lens?
At least it's not lens flares.
Well, I found out Abrams did that on purpose. I'm like, holy shit, really? Like, yeah, he did that on purpose.
What, you're just now finding that out?
No, years ago I found it out. I think it was
thank God
Denver that told me that.
Man, I thought you were just now finding that
No,
out.
no.
So
I think it was Grundy who mentioned that.
When if I were to give that one a score, it's a solid 5. I mean, it's middle of the road. I mean, it's
what?
But my issue so far is everything's been gimmicky.
Oh.
That's what I'm pointing out for every episode we've done, except for the Silad who caught its tail. Every episode has been a gimmick episode. And I think they relied too heavily on the fact that season 2, the 2 gimmick episodes they did were fucking awesome, in my opinion.
Well, Discovery was nothing but gimmickry. I mean.
Well, what I mean is like the whole season 1 arc of Discovery is a war thing.
Yeah, burning
the
Klingon War.
Yeah, so I have no issues with that, but I don't know. It's just I don't know how to articulate it other than saying that it's just I don't want to see the tropes. I want to see the tropes subverted, not put on display.
I did like the documentary aspect, but the whole title was "What is Starfleet?" 90% of the documentary was a battle. I'm like, this is not explaining what Starfleet is. This is you guys doing a battle. What's the point of the documentary style cameras if you guys doing a battle? Not talking about what is Starfleet. I'm like, what the hell is the purpose?
And I'll give you an example of the documentary style episode that was done really, really freaking well, and that was Babylon 5.
Oh yeah, the religion one.
No, not the religion one. but they had the one where they're being interviewed by the Earth News Network,
Yeah,
and
okay.
the whole
What's the
thing is
episode
it
again?
portrays them in a negative light.
Yeah, I forgot what episode that was. Shit.
But that
Yeah,
was a really
Garibaldi was
good way of
dodging questions all the time. They're like, see, like, he evades the question, basic questions, and they do it over there with a voice. I'm like, yeah, yeah, I remember that one. Shit.
so this seemed to try to subvert that aspect, but it doesn't do it because we know Starfleet is an overall good organization. So to start off saying, "Oh, they're actually bad, and we're going to show them how bad they are." Oh, but no, we're not. We're actually going to say how good they are at the end. It was cheesy. It was cliche. It was not necessarily a good way of doing the episode. I mean, I would have much rather seen this episode not as the documentary style, because there you got the story of a good episode. Space creature. There's so many aspects of this episode that could have been done better.
And it's for a documentary, and you're in the heat of a battle. If I was captain, I'm like, turn that camera, get the camera off the bridge right now. We need to fight. Yeah, distraction
Mercer,
for everybody on the bridge.
I'm not going to tear down Strange New Worlds too much, on a hate watch level. But yeah, season 3 of Orville was definitely better than season 3 of Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
All right, and as for the last episode I watched yesterday, the 4 new Brooklyn. As I said, I haven't watched the last 2 episodes, so we'll talk about those next week. I wanted to hate this episode.
Men.
But
on that note, really quick, guys, I'm gonna run. I got things to do.
All right,
but
I'll catch you later. Then
questions for me?
Yeah, what is the ultimate answer for everything? What's the ultimate answer?
42.
Thank you.
I do have one question for you that's really important. What are your thoughts on the 69?
Well, first off, I don't call it 69. It's 96. Let's just be honest.
It's not a Rick and Morty episode, okay?
Isn't that the main? Let's be honest. Is that not the main problem with 69? Is that it's also at position 96? I mean, really? I mean, it's so confusing. It's like, wait a minute. You get to 96. You're like, wait a minute. Did we already do this? I mean,
what if you're 2 women? It's 71.
Sorry, I had to do a callback. Sorry about that. Go ahead. I'll catch you later, Chris.
And just remember, don't blame me for the hate in the world. I'm just too perfect to be blamed for anything. Thank you very much and have a nice day.
All right, later, man.
Oh, well, I gotta do my pipe.
All right, so when I saw the aspects of the 4 main characters turning into Vulcans,
the hair.
Yeah, there's so much to nitpick about this episode, but if you want to talk about the actual storyline about what goes on, it was actually really well done. I hate to say it. As I said, I wanted to hate this episode, but it was just a very fun, intriguing, and interesting take on that. As I said, it's a gimmick. People turning into another type of, someone changing and saying, "Oh, I'm not going to change back." That's happened so many times in fiction. But their solution was funny. I'm sorry. What's his name? What was the comedian who played the Vulcan Doug? I can't remember his name. It's slipping away.
Patton Oswalt.
Thank you. Patton Oswalt and Una.
Yes.
I watched that and I cringed the entire time because I was laughing so hard.
That was perfect chemistry.
It was. And the fact that you finally have a Vulcan. I mean, what was the big thing that they were talking about? It was the whole, like the episode title, 4.5 Vulcans. They kept pointing out how Spock is only half Vulcan.
You know, I got a problem with that episode though, because the previous episode, Spock mentions that him cutting himself, trying to cut his half Vulcan out, half off when he was a kid, because people were making fun of it, and yet they're making fun of Spock, and nobody mentions anything about that. I'm like, wait a minute, didn't he just get emotionally breaking down talking about body mutilation and people making fun of him for being half human? Now they're making fun of him, and nobody's doing shit about it. I had a problem with that.
Yeah, I did, but it still made sense for the Spock character based on what he said last thing.
What was that?
Sorry, I'm confused. Mercer, can you explain that? If you're talking about a Vulcan named Doug, I'm sorry.
Oh,
a Vulcan named Doug to me was funny as all head.
Yeah, because he's fascinated with humans. That's why.
And the fact that you finally have a Vulcan character who is praising Spock for his human side. That was freaking awesome.
Yeah, he's fascinated with humans. He loves them.
And I'm sorry. As soon as he said, my sister Susan, I can totally picture him being like, no, her name is actually Suzanne, like SUS''AN. Oh, okay. Okay.
Anson said that he enjoyed doing the new voiceover for the intro.
But yeah, having a Starfleet officer who's a Vulcan who's, being called out on being kind of like a racist Vulcan, pointing out that he seems to favor his own race over everyone else. Yeah, that was actually, it was a good moment. And then even that admiral dude is like, yeah, you know what? You're kind of right. I'm going to point out the fact that you were candid about it, and I'm going to be logical about it, which is part of who I am. And you know what? You're going to get the job. I liked that. It was a good moment. As I said, Mercer, there's a bunch we can nitpick about this. The transformation, yeah, we could go on for an entire, and I've seen other people go off on the transformation. Yeah, the transformation doesn't make sense. The transformation was fucking stupid. But everything else about this episode worked. The fact that they're going down on this planet and they solve the problem within 90 seconds. I'm sorry. That I fully expected the human Vulcan conflict being the main thing between and trying to solve this problem on this planet was going to be the big thing, but no, they ended up keeping it as a bottle episode for the most part, and just exploring the interpersonal relationships between people, between the characters, from the Vulcan point of view. That I enjoyed a lot. Even the whole Uhura and what's her name's brother, Uhura doing the mind meld to make him more Vulcan. That brings up consent issues. And I like how it's like, well, you did agree to it. It's like, yeah, but he's also thinking with his dick. So did he really agree to it? I mean, everything, I just, other than that transformation aspect, everything else worked. And the La'an character, her taking on the Romulan traits, that was fucking genius, in my opinion. Because it's showing, without telling, that Romulans and Vulcans are still connected.
That was a good move.
That was probably one of the, as I said, the best aspects of Star Trek, showing, not telling, done recently. That was freaking fantastic. I mean, yeah, they did try to explain it like, oh, it must be your augment history. It's like, no, we all know what it really is. And the fact they didn't point it out works even better because it's again hiding that Romulan aspect of Vulcan history. It made sense, and I liked it. I also like the way that Spock solved the issue with her by dancing. That was built over several episodes, and I liked that. I'm sorry. I thought when I saw the trailer for the episode about, you know, her and Spock dancing, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, I agree. It was probably, you know, done well there too. But I'm just saying for this aspect, for me as a Star Trek fan, it was a way of showing it. As I said, it was a way of showing but not telling. We know who the Romulans are as Star Trek fans. We've seen them in Next Generation. We've seen them in Deep Space Nine. We know how secretive and how, you know, paranoid they can be. So the fact that you have this Vulcan character doing exactly that, it was, and yeah, I agree, Mercer. It is a gimmick. This whole season has been nothing but gimmick episodes. That was my big point. But this is, other than the transformation, this is a way of using that gimmick to explore new things and not just being, you know, having the gimmick for gimmick's sake, like the documentary episode, like the zombie episode. I don't want the gimmick should be a way of telling the story, not being the story.
Then you might like next episode when you see it.
Well, as I said, I haven't seen 9 and 10 yet.
That's why I said you
I
might
tried
like
watching them last
9.
night, but suddenly it just wasn't working.
Okay, well, you remember season 2? Season 9 goes back from what happened in season 2 to a character.
Well, no spoilers, please. So,
Okay.
but I do think that stop doing gimmick episodes per se, and let's just do some classic Trek episodes.
That's what next week's episode is, or your next episode.
Yeah, same here, Mercer. That's why I think the Siladu-Kadet's Tale was probably the best episode for this season. It didn't focus on the gimmick. I mean, yeah, having aliens, you know, it's very trope heavy, but their handling of it is what mattered to me. So, I mean, hell, this freaking episode had a lot of, or the Siladu-Kadet's Tale had a lot of themes that reminded me of that Voyager episode. I want to say The Void, where they're all trapped in that starless thing where people, you know, have to work together to get out.
Mm.
It reminded me of that episode a little bit.
Thoughts? Those are just rambles, not thoughts.
So overall, yeah, I did enjoy. It's like I didn't hate watching this season so far. If that makes any sense. There's episodes I didn't really like. There's episodes that were not really that good. There were some moments that were really well done, and there's some moments that make me really question whether the writers need to be drinking that heavily when they're writing. But
what are they smoking? Not the good shit, I'll tell you that.
Well, I'll give you this, Mercer. One of my issues with older Trek compared to newer Trek, a lot of older Trek, you might have character development moments, but there aren't character development arcs over multiple seasons or over a season or something like that. Almost every character in Star Trek, like TNG for that matter, from season 1 to season 7 is the same exact character they were beforehand. That's one of my issues with it. And again, it's a different type era of storytelling. They were designed to be episodic. They were designed to be so you could watch an episode out of order at any time because they were in syndication, and things don't really change. And yeah, Riker is exactly the same. No, I disagree. All three of those are essentially the same person they were from season 1 to season 7. Worf got his character development in Deep Space Nine. He did not get his character development in in Next Generation. Riker, same thing. Yeah, they had their moments where they had like an episode where they would come to some realization, but every single, the next episode they're back to square one. It's like Voyager being repaired at the end of every episode.
Look at O'Brien. He never got his arc. He never got a character name in season 1.
No, O'Brien probably had the most character development out of any character in Star Trek Next Generation.
Yeah, he started out as a random crew member.
No, I'm not. Again, Mercer, we're talking about episodes where they had a character develop moment, but it's not like the very next episode or the next few episodes. Worf is going over this, trying to overcome his shame or his honor or anything like that. The next time they bring up the idea of Worf killing Duras or his discommendation is another episode in the next season, and it's the first time they've mentioned it since. He didn't have to go through the emotional turmoil, or he didn't have to go through any. He didn't talk about it with Troy. I mean, hell, they could have just had an episode where they insert a scene of just Worf and Troy talking about it. And I know it was episodic, but that's the problem with it. That's why I'm pointing this out. The fact that newer episodes can have these arcs is one of the strengths, in my opinion. It's not, and I'm not saying I love TNG. TNG is what got me into Star Trek. To this day, I've even made the joke. The Enterprise D is probably one of my favorite starships of all time. Because it was when I first saw that ship, I'm like, it was the first time I would say that a ship looked elegant. And I do agree with you there, Mercer. I think the lightly serialized aspects of Deep Space Nine was better than what they're doing now. But as I said, now with they're trying to play to the strengths of streaming, which they have to do. And no one will ever take this quote out of context, Mercer. All right. So let's get off Strange New Worlds for a while. Oh, see, I disagree with you there, Mercer. I just said we're going to get off Strange New Worlds, but I'm going to talk about this comment. I like the Strange New Worlds Enterprise. I think it's really nicely designed. I don't like the size aspect. I don't know why they made it bigger than the TOS one. In my head canon, it's the same size or smaller. But what I wish it was after TOS. The progression between the TOS Enterprise, the Strange New Worlds Enterprise, and the Motion Picture Enterprise, those go in a line that works very well. But going from Strange New Worlds to TOS to TMP, that doesn't work. That the language, the flowingness, it doesn't work for the ship design. I think I can agree with you there. As I said, but I don't hate the ship. I like the ship. But I'm going to get off Strange New Worlds unless you get throw me back onto those tracks. What else did I watch this week? I can't remember what else I watched this week. Elihu.
I don't know what you watched. It's okay.
I'm trying to remember, but I can't remember what else I watched.
Have you caught up on Futurama?
Oh yeah, I'm all caught up on Futurama. I'm
Okay.
also caught up on Family Guy. The next two that I'm going to try, or the next three I'm going to try to catch up on are American Dad, Simpsons, and South Park.
Okay. Yeah. On South Park, Matt and Trey put a statement saying that they were doing a lot of the episodes because of the current events, and doing last minute episodes is taking a little bit longer than they expected. So some of the release dates for the new season episodes has been pushed back about 2 weeks or so. Because they're trying to keep up with current events. They're like, hey, fuck it. You paid us money already. We're going to do this shit. We didn't do cancel us.
And yeah, Mercer, we talked about that last stream that Back to the Future is going to be released for on Halloween, which I even talked to my kids about trying to bring them to go see it. But so far, only one of them's interested. And I didn't know about Apollo 13 though. We saw that Twilight is going to be re-released, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck about Twilight.
Oh, I've been seeing these ads to rent Superman on HBO Max, right? Like every other channel. It's promo. Superman's on digital now. But I'm flipping through my little channels, and I see HBO TV guys see Superman. I'm like, okay, they're gonna show the classic Superman. No problem. I'll watch classic Superman while I wait for the baseball game to come on. Superman starts. I see the new logo. I'm like, what the fuck? I see snow. I'm like, I don't have to pay for this. They're streaming on HBO itself. I'm like, okay. Why pay to rent it was actually streaming on the service. I watched Superman last night before the game. High def too. Nice.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. I'll probably end up watching it, but I'm not going to watch it in theaters.
I missed the big screen on the at the baseball stadium, Oracle Park, where they screen Superman like the movie theater, like drive-in theater style. They serve alcohol, food. It was like speakers everywhere. You can hear surround sound. And the movie was on the big screen. I'm like, damn it, I missed it.
Oh, what movie was it? I can't remember, but back to school night was last Friday.
Back to school, right in Dangerfield.
No, my son's back to school night, and as part of it, they were having a on in their little playground area on the grass. They had a big inflatable screen, and they were going to play a movie. It was a Disney movie. I can't remember which one it was at this point. And it was like all my kids were like, we kind of want to stay to watch the movie so we can hang out with our friends, but we don't give a shit about the movie, and we don't want to stay late because of all the summertime. We're just going to get eaten by bugs, so let's not watch it.
Yeah, they used to do that here before COVID. They would have occasionally pop-up screens show Disney animated movies everywhere. I miss that.
If you want to go over to a personal thing, my son is very, very close to getting expelled from school because he punched a student.
Oh, yay!
Well, I'm trying to figure out a way to. He seems to want to resort his problems with violence, and I'm trying to get them to understand you can't, even if I don't care if they pushed you first. In this school, they're gonna, if you retaliate, they're going to suspend you too.
Oh, I would have just told him, if you don't knock him out in the first punch, don't even bother getting into the fight.
Well, apparently what happened was, when they start making fun of him, he can't take it. And I don't know. Maybe I need to make him watch Karate Kid.
Well, tell him not to be mumbling goose fabra, because goose fabra apparently is what Inuits say when they're about to have an orgasm.
I have never heard that before, and I think that sounds like something that was made up.
Goose Pabra! It's not the meditation. Well, it does relax you.
Well, that's because Mr. Miyagi, the whole knowing when not to fight.
You gotta know when to hold on.
Oh, yeah.
When to hold on.
And I still haven't seen the new Karate Kid movie. Maybe I should put that on my list of things to watch. Because I still haven't seen Fantastic Four.
What
So
about
I need to-
Peacemaker?
Oh yeah, Peacemaker. I started watching that. What episodes did I watch? Fuck. I knew. See you. That's why I went to you, Elihu, to remind me what I watched. So I think I watched the first. How many episodes had been released yet?
5.
Then I probably watched the first 4. But I can't remember. Like I was binge watching them, and they were just playing one after another. So I can't really remember what happened in each episode per se. Let me see if I can get this to. No, don't do that. Don't do that. All right. Question for you, Elihu. Did they say anything at all about Peacemaker's dad being a racist in the new universe? Or is he not a racist?
Not yet. No mention of that. But it's been highly pointed out by every single critic that James Gunn in every single one of his projects has a diversity quote unquote diversity cast of background actors in crowd scenes. But the new dimension has only one specific skin color of people in every single scene. And people are summarizing, yeah, the BDE is Dimension X. That's why James has said on record he has not released any information about episode 6, 7, or 8, except for the mini trailer that was released at the end of episode 5, because he doesn't want critics to know what's going on. He doesn't want no spoilers because this is, quote unquote, directly leading into Man of Tomorrow, unquote. Because people are spoiling Marvel shit left and right. He's like, yeah, he knows what's going on with Marvel because people are already knowing who's in Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man. People already know some of the plot details. Like, yeah, gee, thanks, idiots. I'm like, James is smart. He's holding shit back. Publicists are pissed, but he's like, no, this is my choice. This is my studio decision. I am not doing this. I'm not releasing information. Like, thank you, James.
Oh, and you definitely didn't offend me, Mercer. If that matters. As I said, I have no. We had a discussion. We weren't arguing with each other. I didn't say, we're good, man. Hopefully, you're still here to hear that part.
And there is the ongoing trope of Michael Rooker getting cast in every James Gunn movie and his character getting killed off. There's that trope. I'm like, okay, what's going to happen to Saint Wild? But of course, James Gunn said in the official podcast with Michael there's always a chance to come back and play a different character. So Michael's going to get Saint Wild's going to get killed off. That's going to be that's an automatic trope. But he's there. He's able to come back as a different character.
We did talk about Peacemaker last week. That's why I'm like, I forgot I watched it. Because I remember talking about Eagly taking out the member, the 5-man team, because that was fucking awesome. I'm sorry. So yeah, I haven't seen it this week. It was last week.
Okay, you'll see Eagly do some badass shit in this episode. Episode 5.
Let me see. Yeah, that was that one. I'm looking up plot synopses real quick just to remind myself what was in each episode. Because
I can tell you real fast. I can
That
tell
is
you
one of
how
the
fast
bad.
they
Hold
are.
on, I just want to say that this is one of the bad aspects of streaming. Sometimes the episodes bleed together.
Yeah, the episode. Okay, you want me to sum them up for you?
Oh, I'm trying to make sure if I've seen episode 5 yet or not. So hold on. Okay, yeah, I've seen 1 through 4. 1 through 4. And later positive. Sorry, we didn't let you talk too much. I apologize, man.
Let it PC.
So yeah, I've seen episodes 1 through 4.
Okay. So you're not all caught up yet.
Nope. Excuse me.
Well, no excuse for you. James has also released some information so far about the opening dance sequence. He says that each dance sequence is different, but it's the same. If you would rewatch the dance sequence, each opening sequence focuses on a different character, which kind of emphasizes that episode and future episodes. And some of the dance moves are hints to the characters and the plot. Like the Peacemaker holds up Olivia in arms, they fall back, and you see the new dimension of her and the brother and the father dancing. They're doing the that SWAT sign with the arms. People notice that.
I did not notice that. I'll see if you can shoot me a video that shows out the differences, because I'll be honest, I haven't been paying attention to the dance sequence.
Yeah,
Oh,
people are ignoring that. James had to point it out.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't believe nobody's noticed this before.
So,
because everybody nitpicks shit, and he's like, okay, nobody does this. I'll tell you what's going on. And everybody's pointing it out. I'm like, oh wait, he zooms in on Zybeard and Eagly. Oh, okay, he's even the protector. I get it now.
maybe I just want to see a compilation, or like all 4 being played at the same time so we can see the differences clearly.
I have not found a compilation video yet like that. And I have a hard time merging 2 videos to play at the same time.
Maybe I'll do it. I know it'll get dinged right away. I might need to create another channel of stuff I can post so I can refer to that stuff I'm talking about, and then not care if that channel gets demonetized or stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I did that, and I put different music on the intro, and I did not get dinged.
Well, I wouldn't. I don't know if I could change I don't want to change the music. But all right, maybe I'll just head out for now, since we talked about Strange New Worlds, which is what is the big thing I wanted to bring up, because it's what I watched yesterday and the day before primarily. No, I don't bring that up. Okay, never mind. If anyone has a copy of Fallout 3 on Xbox they want to let me borrow, I'd appreciate that, or just give it to me, because I don't want to order it off eBay, because it seems kind of pointless for me to do that. But I picked up a copy a few months ago, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna replay Fallout 3 on the Xbox I have at Mrs. Vile's house. And I'm not blaming anybody, but something happened where either I or 2 other people may have knocked the dresser that I used to put my TV and Xbox on, and my Xbox fell.
Ooh.
And it ended up, the Xbox is fine, it's still working, but it because the Fallout 3 was inside, it gouged a huge ring into the disc, and it's now completely unplayable. And I'm like, fuck, because it's the one I'm playing, and now I can't play it anymore. And the reason I wanted to replay Fallout 3 so much is I originally had the which sucks because it ended up kind of getting stolen. I'm not going to go into it. I had the collector's edition of Fallout 3, the one that came in the lunchbox. and that one came with all the DLCs. So I've had all the DLCs for Fallout 3, but due to a glitch in my game that I originally was playing on, I couldn't play the Pit DLC, the one that takes you from the Capital Wasteland to Pittsburgh. So I've never played that DLC. And then, of course, for Fallout 76, what is one of the things they bring back? Oh, it's the Pit. So I want to go back and I want to finally play the Pit DLC. And I just haven't got to that point in the game to actually justify going to it when I was replaying it on Mrs. Vile's house. I know I don't have that opportunity again, and I'm pissed. So if someone has a copy of Fallout 3, they want to donate or borrow from on the Xbox 360, let me know. Because everywhere else I've seen it, I could easily just go to one of my competitors and buy it. That kind of defeats the purpose for me. I'd rather find it in the wild, or I don't want to just go out and buy one because that's too easy, if that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird about it. But I don't want to.
That reminds me of something. Remember that I was telling you about that Facebook civil lawsuit, joint lawsuit?
Remind me.
A few years ago, Facebook, when they launched a mobile app, they were stealing people's contacts in their phone and selling that information, and also selling your private information as well. And I joined a civil lawsuit against that, and the payment finally came in. I got $11.57. So what can I buy off your eBay store? Yeah, $11.57.
Do you want to include shipping and handling, or do you want to not include shipping and handling?
I got $11.57 free to spend. What can I buy on your eBay store? Include.
Again, it depends on your shipping. Because even the cheapest item that's only $1 sometimes it can cost like $6 or $7 to ship.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. One of the funniest things I that happened a couple of years ago for me was a guy from Venezuela bought a Game Boy off of me. The Game Boy he bought for like $70. And it was $70 because it was refurbished and it came with a couple of games and stuff like that. So, but the amount, so the system itself was $70. The amount he paid for shipping from the United States to where he lived in Venezuela cost almost $400.
Damn.
And part of the reason was, one is another country, so that always adds costs onto it. But when I was like, why is it costing so much money? And how, what, I wanted to know. So I look up the guy's address on Google Maps. He lives in like bumfucked Egypt area of Venezuela. Like, it's like the town he lives in is like 4 people, all made up of these multi-million-dollar estates.
Oh my God.
So he's really rich, but to get anything to his house costs a fortune. And it had to be handed off like it had to be sent via FedEx, because FedEx was the only American company that could handle packages in that area of Venezuela. And but even then it went from the USPS to eBay's little international thing to FedEx to go from eBay's international holding area to Venezuela, and then FedEx takes it to Venezuela and then transports it up there. And
you are starting to robot.
Yeah, shipping and handling costs could just be. Sorry, my phone says it's starting to overheat.
Yeah, because you're starting to robot.
All right, well, I'll go ahead and end the stream. But if you want, go check it out, and I can see. I can try to cut you a deal. Just let me know who you are.
I am me.
What? I mean, who you are on eBay.
Yeah, Elihu who?
Okay. Do you know how when I receive a message from somebody, it doesn't tell me who it is?
Oh, okay.
It literally just has first initial, star, last initial.
I'll say it's me.
So yeah, it's
When I
until
message the seller. Message the seller. I will message the seller. I will say it's me. Okay. End the stream. You're roboting.
All right, later.
Later, weirdos.